Trivia question. Who's got the most points per game in the entire NHL over the last 4 weeks? The answer, the Ottawa Senators. And with that, Craig, the Sens are now just 2 points behind the Leafs for second in the Atlantic. Why, Craig? What's changed with the Ottawa Senators?
Well, the first thing I got to say, Gino, is maybe I was just a year early. Last year, I said the Leafs should watch out for the Ottawa Senators. Well, boy, that was really premature because there was nothing to worry about when it came to the Ottawa Senators last season. 2 points behind the Leafs. Yeah, the Ottawa Senators have shown that they should be taken seriously through their play. You know, it wasn't that long ago, Gino, that we were concerned about the Ottawa Senators and what was happening. Why weren't they winning games? And really simple, they weren't scoring goals and the offense had dried up. But the one thing that hadn't dried up was their offensive process. They were getting chances, they were getting opportunities, they were generating those opportunities. And when you get them, eventually the puck's going to go into the net. And that's exactly what's ended up happening. Their defensive play has been really good this year. Obviously, without Allmark, the defensive play hasn't fallen off. But the offensive play, the scoring has really picked up. And that's allowed them now to be rewarded for the good process. And that has led to 5 straight wins. And yes, climbing on up the standings, which is something that is so exciting for the Ottawa Senators fans.
The Sens are full of young guys like Brady Tkachuk who've never experienced a single playoff game. It's February, and they're still right in the thick of the chase. How important is it for guys like Tkachuk and Stützle to experience something like this, Craig?
It's really important. First of all, they're competitors, but it also extends to the other young players, Shabbat, Sanderson, and Norris, and Batherson, really talented group of young players that want to be in the playoffs, and they've been driven to get there. And so now being in these games and understanding how important being competitive and being involved and invested in every part of the game becomes incredibly instructive. It helps you understand how hard it is not only to get to the playoffs, but once you do get to the playoffs, it only becomes that much harder. So by being able to go through this and seeing how hard it is, and then seeing what it takes, and then being rewarded, I think it's only something that is going to help this team continue on the really good, strong play that we've seen over the course of this stretch of games.
Okay, we're just over a month away from the NHL trade deadline. What would you like to see Steve Sails and the Sens do between now and then?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. I think that every manager, Gino, wants to improve their team in some way, shape, or form. You know, Josh Norris has been such a good player for this team. Shane Pinto's been a really good player for this team. I think if they could add like a little bit more experience, maybe some size on the walls, that would be something. And they don't need top end players. They need some players that I think could play a little bit deeper down the lineup and give them that grind, so to speak, up front. Their blue line, I think, is really good. You've seen Zub come back in and be a really productive player. And if Allmark comes back in and is healthy, we saw what he was doing before he went out. So just some size on the walls deeper down the lineup, I think would be something. And if that could be winning experience, size on the walls, that would be only that much better for this young group of players that are starting to see and understand what it takes to have success in the NHL and in their pursuit of trying to get to the playoffs.
Wouldn't that be something? In 7 years, the Sens currently have the third longest playoff drought in the NHL. Now they got a solid chance to snap that. For the record, the Sabres have the worst run. They're a virtual lock to make it 14 straight seasons without a trip to the playoffs.